Dear students, today we'll establish a relation between the generated voltage and the terminal voltage. Also, we'll derive the EMF equation first. First, we'll take up EMF equation of a DC generator derivation. The terminology associated with the EMF equation of the DC generator are listed here. The first one is the phi, that is a flux per pole. In the each pole, flux is produces 5 webers. P is the number of poles in the DC machine. Z is the total number of conductors in the machine. A is the number of parallel paths. Here I am defining A as a number of parallel paths, means in the two different windings, lap and wave windings, the number of parallel paths are different. That determines the effective conductors or the number of conductors per parallel path. That is, each parallel path contains Z by A number of conductors, where A is the number of parallel paths. A is equal to P, that is in the lap winding. For example, if you have got 400 conductors and 4-pole machine, then each parallel path it contains 100 conductors. Whereas in the case of wave winding, if you are considering the same example of 400 conductors and 4 poles, then the number of conductors per parallel path is equal to 200. Irrespective of the number of conductors, it is held in the case of wave winding. With this definition of some of the terminology that what were represented with phi, P, Z, A and N, the another important term is the speed of the rotation in the RPM, that is a rotor speed, or it is the revolutions per minute it is measured. Okay. Then we know that the EMF induced in the DC generator is on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. It gives the magnitude of induced voltage which is induced in the armature conductors. That is, the magnitude of induced voltage is proportional to the rate of change of flux. That is, what we are calling is the induced voltage E is equal to d phi by dt. d phi by dt means it is a rate of change of flux. For this, I consider here the 4-pole machine, that is NS, N and S. Then I have got a rotor here. It is rotating with a speed of N RPM. I'll consider a single conductor and a single revolution. That is, the conductor is cutting all the poles by only once. That is one revolution. Therefore, what I writing here is the flux cut by a single conductor. Suppose this is rotating, rotor is rotating for one revolution. That is, the flux cut by a single conductor in one revolution. Is equal to, what is the flux cut? See, each pole is producing a flux of 5 Weber. That is, it is cutting 5 Webers here, 5 Webers here, 5 Webers here, 5 Webers here. That is, what is the total flux cut by a single conductor in a one revolution? That is 4 times 5. Suppose here there are 4 poles, therefore the flux cut by is 4 into 5, 4, 5. If you are generalizing this, if there are P number of poles, either it may be 2, 4, 6, 8, anything. In that case, the total flux cut by a single conductor in one revolution is equal to, it is P into 5 Webers. That is nothing but your d phi is equal to P into phi. Now, The rotor is rotating with a speed of n rpm. It is making n revolutions in 60 seconds. Therefore, the time taken for a single revolution is 60 by n. Therefore, time taken by a conductor for one revolution is equal to 60 by n second. Therefore, this I am calling as a dt. That is, dt is equal to 60 by n second. Therefore, we know by the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, the E is equal to d phi by dt. Just I am substituting there. Therefore, induced voltage in a single conductor. That is why I am considering here single conductor. Therefore, induced voltage in a single conductor, that is, I'll write more specifically, in a single conductor, it is d phi is p into phi and dt is 60 by n. That is equal to p phi n by 60 volts. Then what is the total number of conductors in each parallel path? It is Z by A. Therefore, total induced voltage E, that is equal to P phi n by 60 into Z by A volts, or I'll write here it is E is equal to phi Z n P by 60 into A volts. This is a EMF equation of a DC generator. It is very simple. It is based on the Faraday's second law, that is, a magnitude is determined, that is d phi by dt. I am considering a single conductor. From the single conductor, if it is rotating through a single revolution, in that case I am calculating what is the flux cut by this and what is the time taken for a single revolution, that is p phi and 60 by n. Just I am d phi by dt I am putting here. This is a voltage induced in a single conductor. However, I have got the total number of conductors in each parallel path is Z by A. Therefore, what I am getting is the induced voltage is phi Z NP by 60 into A volts. This is how we have to derive the EMF equation. Now, we'll establish a relation between generated voltage and a terminal voltage. The terminal voltage is nothing but the voltage across the load. Here I have got a load. Here I have got a armature of a generator. It is armature. Then what is the purpose of a generator? It is delivering electrical power to the load for utilizing the electrical energy. Okay. Then I told you the voltage which is generated in the armature, that what I am calling is generated voltage E. Whereas the voltage which is available across the load, that is what I am calling is the terminal voltage. This is a terminal voltage V. Then if there is a generated voltage, it is capable of delivering current. That current is called as IA. That is, it is an armature current which is delivered by the armature. Then that current is utilized by a load. That current, what I am calling is the load current. That is why I am represented here. E is the generated voltage, that is the generated voltage in the armature. V is the terminal voltage, which is a voltage across the load. Then I am defining here armature resistance. This is also V, that is generated voltage, and terminal voltage is also measured in terms of V. Then we know that this all armature consists of the number of conductors. They are connected in a particular fashion. Then if there is a conductor, it has got its own inherent resistance. Then the resistance of armature conductor is represented by Ra, that is measured in terms of ohms. Then the current which is delivered to the load, it is measured as the load current, that is represented by IL, that is measured in terms of amperes. Then I told you that the current which is delivered by the armature is called as the armature current, that is also measured in amperes. Okay, this is this different terminologies are used in the establishing the relation between the generated voltage and the terminal voltage. Now, the voltage which is available across the load, which is not same as the generated voltage because of the different factors here. One is, we know that whenever it is supplying a load here, there is a current has to flow in the armature conductors here. Then I told you armature has got certain resistance, that is Ra. Because of flow of current, because of the resistance Ra, there is a voltage drop in the armature resistance. There is one more effect in the DC generator, is that whenever there is a current is flowing in the armature conductor, it is producing its own magnetic flux. The armature flux is opposing the main flux. Because of that, there is a reduction in the voltage. Therefore, the voltage whichever is available across the terminals, which is less than E. The first reason is because of there is IRA drop. The second reason, we are not getting the equal voltage at the terminal because there is a armature reaction. Apart from that, you can see here there are two brushes here, positive and negative brush. That is brush, it is touching to the commutator segment. Therefore, there is a contact between commutator segment and the brushes. There is a contact drop. Therefore, these three factors determines the value of the terminal voltage. Therefore, the terminal voltage is equal to, what is that? Original value generated, that is the generated voltage, minus, what is that? Next one is because of a resistance, that is Ra. Therefore, there is a Ra drop. Next, there is a effect of armature reaction. There is a armature reaction drop. Then after that, there is a brush drop. Therefore, minus brush drop. Therefore, if you want a terminal voltage, what you have to do? First, you have to get the generated voltage. In that, you have to deduct IRA drop. Then you have to take care of the reduction in the voltage because of the armature reaction and also the brush drop. In some of the numerical for the first and second semester students, the effect of armature reaction is usually neglected. If it is given, you have to take care of, otherwise you can straight away neglect it. Then usually the brush drop is 1 volt per brush. It is 1 volt per brush. Therefore, at a standard value, it should not exceed this. Then there are two brushes here, positive and brushes, negative brush. Then you have got the total brush drop of 2 volts. Once again, this factor also, if it is given in the numerical, you have to consider. Otherwise, this also you have to neglect it. Therefore, finally I will write the terminal voltage phi is equal to E minus IRA minus armature reaction drop minus brush drop. These are the things which determines the terminal voltage. Okay, it is general. Then it is varying from the different types of generator. This is one thing. The next one is the power. What is the power developed in the armature and what is the power delivered? That is, power is developed here and power is delivered at the load point. Therefore, what is the power? We know that the power is equal to, in the case of DC, power is equal to voltage into current. It is V into I watts. Then what I am interested in is power developed inside the armature. What is the power in the armature? It is a voltage into current. What is the voltage in the armature? E. What is the current in the armature? I. Therefore, I will write it is a power developed is equal to E into IA watts. However, the output power, that is a power which is delivered to the load, is once again it is a product of the voltage, and you have to take the corresponding value of the voltage and current. What is the voltage across the load? That is a V. Then the current is I. This is how we have to establish the relation between the generator voltage and terminal voltage, and also you are express the what is the power developed and what is the power output from the generator. It is a general case what I am considered here. Then we will take up one by one machine in detail. The first one is the series generator. In the series generator, we know that the series field, that is a field which is connected in series with the armature. This is the armature of the circuit. It is a generator. It is a series field having a resistance of R series, and once again it is a load. Then once again I am connecting load to the series generator here. Then once again the generated voltage is E. It has got the armature resistance. There is the effect of armature reaction. There is a brush drop. Apart from that, there is a one more thing here. It is IARSC, that is a drop in the series field. Then the voltage which is available across the load is V, and the current which is flowing through the load is IL. The current which is flowing through the series field is I will call as I series, whereas the current delivered by the armature is represented by I. Just the first thing what you have to observe here is the current which is delivered by the generator is IA. The same current is flowing in the series field, and the same current is flowing in the load also. Therefore, for a series generator, the armature current is equal to series field current, that is equal to load current. Once again, I want to establish the relation between V and E. Therefore, the terminal voltage V is equal to, the first one is the generated voltage minus the first drop is IRA. Next, reduction in the voltage because of armature reaction. Next one is brush drop. See here, IRA drop, armature reaction, brush drop. Apart from that, there is a one more drop here, that is I series R series, that is nothing but IA into R series, because IA and I series are the same. Therefore, I will rewrite this equation as V is equal to E minus IARA minus IAR series minus armature reaction minus brush drop. Therefore, V is equal to E minus IA, just I am combining these two resistance, RA into RA plus R series minus armature reaction minus brush drop. This is how we have to establish a relation between V and E in the case of series generator. It is a series generator. Then at the same time, once again, the power developed is equal to E into IA watts. Same, E into IA watts. Whereas power output or power delivered is V into IL watts. This is for series generator. This relation is very important. In the case of series machine, all the currents are same. Then the relation for V is E minus IA RA plus R series, because here the series, there is a drop in the series field also. Because of that also you have to deduct the series field. Then we'll move on to the shunt generator. We know that in the shunt generator, the field is connected across the armature. Therefore, I am connecting here. The shunt field is connected across the armature, and the load is also connected here. This is your load. Then we know that this is generator. The generated voltage is E, armature resistance is RA, then the armature reaction, there is a burst drop. Then the current which is delayed by the armature, that is represented by IA. At this junction, the IA has got two paths. One is through the load, the another one is through the shunt field. That is shunt field resistance I am representing as RSH. Here the current has got two paths. One is IL, the another one is ISH here. Then the same current, that is a current which is flowing in the load, is IL. The voltage across the load is once again V. V is the voltage across the load. Now we can see here the voltage across these two terminals is same as the terminal voltage. You can see here the voltage between these two terminals is same as voltage across these two terminals, the same as the across the field. Therefore, the voltage relation what I am establishing here is the voltage across field is equal to voltage across the load, that is equal to V. Means the voltage across load as well as the field is the same. Now look into the current relation now. The total current delivered by the armature is IA. It has got two parts. One is IL and ISH. If you are applying a Kirchhoff's current law at this junction, then what current relation we are getting? IA is equal to IL plus ISH. This is another important relations we are establishing. Next, now we want to establish the relation between E and V. Therefore, V is equal to now the same procedure you have to follow, that is E minus first drop is IRA drop minus the voltage reduction because of armature reaction minus brush drop. That what we are getting is the terminal voltage V. Then if you know the value of RSH, if you know the terminal voltage, then the way of finding out ISH is equal to V divided by RSH. So many amperes. Therefore, if you want to calculate a shunt field current, the voltage across a shunt field is same as the load voltage, that is given by V by RSH. Then once again the power equation, that is the power developed is equal to E into IA watts, and power output from the generator or the power delivered is V into IL This is for the shunt generator. Then we'll move on to the long shunt generator. In the long shunt generator, the shunt field is connected across the combination of the armature and the series field. The compound generator, we have got series field as well as the shunt field, but the connection of the shunt field in a such a way that it is connected across the combination of armature and series field. Therefore, the connection diagram I'll show you here. This is a connection of your shunt field. The shunt field is connected across combination of armature and series field. Then ultimately it is connected to load. This is a load. Now once again, here the generated voltage is E. The current which is delivered here is IA, that is armature current. It has got series field resistance of RSC, it is RSH, it is a load. Now this current IA, once again it has got two paths here. One is IL here, the another one is ISH here. Then the voltage which is across the load, once again it is V is the terminal voltage V. Then once again you can observe, similar to the shunt machine, the voltage across the load is same as the voltage across the shunt field. Okay, I'll write that first. Voltage across shunt field is equal to voltage across load, that is equal to V. The next, once again I have got a IA here. Once again IA is equal to IL plus ISH, and ISH is voltage across the load shunt field is V and its resistance is RSH. V divided by RSH gives the field current. Then for establishing the relation between V and E, the same procedure you have to follow here. That is V is equal to, what is the first drop? It is because of IRA drop. That is E minus IR. Next one is armature reaction. Next, brush drop. Then you can observe here, there is a drop in the series field also. In the case of long shunt, you can see here. What is the drop here? The current is IA in the series field, resistance is R series, therefore there is a drop of IA into R series. Therefore, V what you are getting here is E minus IA RA plus R series minus armature reaction minus brush drop. This is the relation for the voltage V. There is no need of remembering the things, just you have to draw the circuit, mark the currents and the voltage at the different points, then you have to establish the relation. That's all. Then similarly the power equations that you can write. Power developed is equal to E into I, that is voltage into current in the armature, so many watts, and power output, it is a power delivered to the load, it is equal to V into IL, so many watts. This is for the long shunt compound generator. Last one is the short shunt machine. In the short shunt machine, the shunt field, that is shunt field, is connected only across the armature. In the long shunt, it is connected across the combination of series field as well as the armature. Therefore, I will connect here. Yes, this is your short shunt. Then it is connected to load. It's a load. Then can mark the different values here. That is E here. Carefully you can see the current here. It is IA here, ISH here, and IL here. Okay, it is R series, it is RSH. Okay, once again, the voltage across the shunt field is very important. The voltage across the shunt field, how we are getting that? The voltage generated is E here. There is a IRA drop, armature reaction drop, and the brush drop. The remaining voltage is available here. But the voltage available across the terminal, that is what we are representing, is V here. The voltage across the terminals is not same as the voltage across the field here, because while calculating V, there is an extra drop IL into RC will come into picture, but however it will not come into picture for the shunt field. Therefore, first I will write the voltage equation for the terminal voltage V. That is V is equal to, the first voltage is E minus IARA drop minus armature reaction minus brush drop, then minus IL R series, minus IL R series. Okay, this is the relation for the terminal voltage of a short shunt. Then carefully you can see the voltage across shunt field. Shunt field is equal to, what is that first? E minus IRA minus armature